You disarm darkness with your spiritual presence. Therefore, you are needed. Okay, your presence is needed. Many of you may be doing this already, disarming the darkness in your life that may have, I heard, may have gone mayhem in your past. Many of you have learned to disarm it, to not give it power, to not allow the darkness to reign over your life. In order for darkness to reign, there are people that are needed. People like you and me are needed in order for darkness to reign. So if you disarm it, then it will be null and void. Because right now, there's an overcast of darkness. And there's light that must emit from you in order to destroy the overcast, dissolve the overcast. The overcast will dissipate. When everyone activates, the overcast will dissipate. Okay. If the negative energy doesn't have you to, or not just you, but as many vessels as possible, then there would be no work for the negative energy to complete, because it wouldn't be able to complete it. Negative energy needs you to survive. So the key is to make sure that the negative energy is not surviving around you. Make sure that it suffocates. Starve it out. I always say starve it. Don't feed it. Don't feed those negative thoughts if you have any. Don't feed any ill will that you might grow to have towards yourself because of something that happened in your past that is difficult for you to release it and let it go. You have to let it go and start thinking about it differently. Okay? So this is for those who are in this energy already and those who, well, let me put it like this. There's two groups that I'm feeling here in this energy. There's one group that has a difficult time with negative energy, and it is difficult. So I'm not trying to shoot you down for it or make you feel, any type of way. However, it's important that you're able to see why you have to overpower the negative energy. You have to overpower it or it will consume you. And that's what the negative energy wants to do. The negative energy wants to feed off of you and your soul and your being. Because feeding at your soul, that means that your soul cannot activate in its best form, in its best, I wanted to say reality, but I feel like that's not the right word either. I guess in its best capability, best, there's a word I want. I don't see it right now, but I'm going to just say at its best. Okay, let's just leave it at the best. The negative energy will feed at you, every part of you, your mind, your body, and your soul, to the point where you're not your best and you won't feel like your best. And when you start to feel that way, the negative energy has a hold on you, and then whatever it is that the negative energy is giving to you is false, right? So you can't feed it because it will try to feed you. And whatever the negative energy gives you is going to be a lie. No matter how you look at it, it's going to be a lie because it's not to benefit you. And this is how you have to, you don't have to, but this is a good way to look at this situation, because it could help you to check yourself when you need to be checked instead of trying to wait for someone else to check you, or ending up getting into the point where someone else does have to check you. If you check yourself, then you save yourself a lot of trouble when you're able to check yourself and recognize when you feel like you're swirling out of control in the negativity, because that's what the negative energy hopes to do. Have you spiraling out of control, doing things that are really not your nature, but it's a trick to cast the lies and make you believe something that is not, and have you acting in a way that is not your nature to act. Okay? So a part of being in your spirituality is to recognize the negative energy and not feed into it, not give into it. Because what is that really doing for you? Most of the time when negative energy tries to come for you, it's trying to break you down. But you're unbreakable. When you start looking at yourself like that, in that way, it helps you to recognize who you truly are, helps you to remember who you are in that way. Because when you know that you walk from a place of love, and you know that there's a better way that encourages growth, substantial growth, you know that anything that is taking you away from that growth is poisonous to you. It's poisonous to you in all aspects. So that's why it's important that we don't continue to allow these negative energies to control your, I wanted to say your narrative, but it's more so control your emotions, your emotional state. Because when we become too emotional, we can't think straight. The thoughts are not clear. You know, it's good for us to have emotions because they move us into certain directions, but we're not supposed to allow the emotions to completely control us to the point where we're doing things that don't really make sense anymore. Okay? So this is what Spirit is talking about right now. Making sure that you're aware that you have the power to overcome darkness that has been overcasted over everyone. The darkness is out, but now it's about everyone getting to their true nature so that the darkness can no longer have control over so many different souls. There's too many souls that can't even get to the point of purification because they're too muddied with the negative energy, and that negative energy is very weighty. So it makes you literally feel heavy. You start feeling tired. You start feeling like you don't want to get up and do anything. You lose your wit. You lose your personality. You lose yourself when the negative energy takes a hold of you. So this is something that many individuals go through, but they don't realize they're going through it, and they don't even know that it's really happening because they may be in a mindset of, I've seen this happen to everyone around me, so maybe it's supposed to happen. And if this is life, then it's horrible. You know, you get into that very negative state of mind when you allow the negative energy to feed off of you. So it's like you are allowing it to come into you, and then whatever it gives you, you receive it. And this is just me generalizing what happens with the negative energy. But now is really about changing the mindset. If any of you are in that mindset where you feel as though negative energy has consumed you and you feel like you don't even know how to get out of it, and you feel like you're stuck in a rut, it's time to banish that energy, and you have to force yourself out of it, literally. You know how, if this reminds me of like a child that doesn't want to get up for school, and then the parent, the father, the mother, or both are like, no, get up. Get up. No more 5 minutes. Get up. It's time to go. You know, it's just something that came to my mind. So right now it's time to go. It's time to get out of that rut. You have to get out of it, because if you're in it, because some of you, I feel like many of you are out of it, and many of you recognize that your spiritual presence is needed, because we have to work as a collective. You know, when there's only a few, it makes it so much more difficult, because our progress is slow. You know, from a societal standpoint, the progress is very slow. So if the progress is slow and the spiritual attacks are fast, there's a problem here. You know, the resistance is crazy. And in order to combat that, you have to be in the version of yourself that is not weighed down. You have to be able to move around and have energy too, because that negative energy will make you feel like you don't want to get up and do anything ever. And this is what we have to get out of, you know. And I hear many people, they just get so down and like depressed, which I know it happens, is life, I know. However, you have the capability to pull yourself out of that, and recognize that when you pull yourself out of that, you're actually going to move on to a better way of life when you pull yourself out of it, right? Sometimes it's hard. I know it's hard. And if you want to get on a coaching call with me, you can. I have the link up above, and we could talk about your situation specifically. So I could just show you a few ways to look at your situation in a different way, so you don't feel like you can't. Because there's too many of us feeling like we can't get out of this state of mind, but it's been an illusion, and it is an illusion. So if it's an illusion, that means it's not real. You know, it's not real. It's an illusion. And I'm hearing what can increase the illusion to make you think it's real is your current circumstances. So if you're struggling in any way, your current circumstances can make you believe that the illusion is real. However, you have to think outside of the box that you think you're in. And you have to envision yourself in a different place, under certain circumstances where you see yourself. And then when you start to envision the life that you see for yourself, that's when you begin to leap into it. You leap into action, because when you're down and you have your energy is muddied with the negative energy, that's an overcast, that's that dark overcast that's over the world, basically. It prevents you from being able to take action, because you have to think about it. My nose again. You have to think about it. When people are depressed, sad, and stressed, if you really pay attention to people that are going through that, they don't have any energy to get up and cook, clean. They don't have any energy. Some people don't even get up and take a shower when they get like that, because that's what that sadness does to you. It makes it like disables you. And there's so many individuals that you can listen to. There's so many circumstances within your environment that can make you feel sad, that you have more difficulty. It's like an extra weight on you, taking you away from snapping into your power, like bouncing into it, and being able to know that at least you have to get to that point where you know you can take action and you start taking it. Because if you're stuck in that place where you feel like you can't even move, there's some things that need to be adjusted and changed within your mind, so that you can think differently to start taking action in your life. And when you begin to take the action, I guarantee you will start to feel better, because the action, it brings change, and the change brings growth. And when you see yourself growing, you can feel the shift within you, within your mind, from learning from whatever experience you've gone through, it really shifts your energy out of being stuck in a rut. Okay. So Spirit is wanting to remind you of your value. Okay, you are so valuable. And many are stuck in these mundane problems, like relationships that are sour. It's not working, or it's over now, and your heart is still stuck in the past with the whole situation that happened and how much it hurt you. I heard, how long does it take for you to get out of that emotion? It could take forever if you allow it to. It could take years if you allow it to. However, if you start looking at the situation different and you say to yourself, you know what, that's the past. I'm going to let it be the past. And I'm going to do things that feed my soul. I'm going to do things that nourish my mind. And before you know it, when you start to take those actions to feed your soul and nourish your mind, nourish your body, take care of yourself, you begin to feel better and you begin to forget about the past situation. And it might pop up here and there, but that's when you have to learn how to maintain your healing when it comes to like bad breakups and stuff like that. But see, something like that is actually very insignificant. And I'm not saying it to shoot you down or make you feel like, I don't want you to feel like that. The reason why I'm saying these things, right? Because some people are very sensitive when it comes to these topics. And I don't want you to feel like targeted in any way. That's not the point. The point is to pinpoint and speak out about what's really affecting so many people nowadays. Many people are so wrapped up into wanting to be in a relationship, like a romantic relationship, but they don't even have anything to really contribute to a relationship. Like, when you want to get into a relationship, don't you want to have something to bring to it? And then you want to connect with someone else who has value to bring to the relationship. And then two valuable people come together and create magic together. That is beautiful. That's when you're ready for a relationship, when you have your things together. Okay, when your stuff is straight, that's when you want to get into a relationship. And I just find that so many people are starving for love, because love is beautiful. Love is what we need, but the love is in the wrong places right now. Many are looking for love in the wrong places. When the love starts with you, once you feel comfortable with loving you and focusing on you, all of that unnecessary heartbreak that happens over and over again in your life in different ways, you don't allow it to happen anymore, because you become, you toughen up, you get a little tough, and you start looking at things different, and you don't allow the little things to catch you slipping. Because once you fall, it's hard to get up. So let's try not to fall, especially when you feel like some of you might feel like no one's around to pick you back up. So you have to be that pillar of strength for yourself. And I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's possible. And I just want you guys to look at it from a different perspective when it comes to challenging experiences in life that have you feeling at your worst and you feel like no one is there. You have to change gears within your mind in order for you to shift out of that. Because if you don't, it just gets worse. So just knowing that if you don't shift into a different mindset and knowing that it can get worse, shouldn't that give you motivation enough to actually take action, even if it's hard? Because when you start taking action, you lead yourself away from the overcast of darkness. There's so many instances and situations in this place, on this earth, that cause stress, heartbreak, causing things that make you heavy, make your heart heavy, and make you feel weighed down, you know. So the best thing that you could do for yourself is show up in your spiritual presence. When you are in your spiritual presence, the only thing that matters is your soul's purification, and your willingness to take action, as well as your connection with God. When you are able to find comfort in that space, you enhance your power so many octaves. I just heard the frequency is skyrockets through the roof when you're able to do that. And you also feel good because you start to work within your own energy, and you don't feel like you need to survive off of anybody else's energy, because that's when you can get in trouble. When you start to feel like you have to, like you need someone else's energy, like you have to be in a relationship with someone to feel comfort, because that's dangerous. That means that you become codependent. And then if nobody's around, you lose yourself again, and then you get sad, and then you have to go back all through the heartbreak process, and that's too long. And years can pass. That is a space where you could literally end up stuck there for years. And Spirit doesn't want that for you. Spirit sees so much more for you. And also, let me tell you, when you focus on yourself and love yourself and really get to know yourself a little more, because so many times in life there's those stages that many go through where it's like a people-pleasing thing, and then you just want to do whatever. It could be for attention, it could be for just wanting to have a friend, it could just be because you want to be in a relationship, so you just start taking anything, you start accepting anything that's given to you. And most of the time, I want to say almost 100% of the time, when you don't speak up about things that you don't like, and you end up just accepting a person into your life just to say that someone's there, but they're not necessarily treating you as you should be treated, you become miserable, and then you become codependent in a toxic relationship. No matter what the dynamics of the relationship is, you know, no matter if it's family, friends, romantic, whatever, once you have those codependent cords, it's hard to cut, even if it's toxic, even if it's bad for you. And that's where a lot of us here in this space are. You know, I used to be there, to be honest. I used to be there. It was a toxic situation, but it was comfortable. So when you find comfort in toxicity, that's a dangerous place to be. You have to pull yourself out of that mindset, because you could be stuck there for years, and so much time goes by, so much time. And in that time, you could have found someone else doing something that you love. So then you find someone that you're more resonant with, because you end up finding someone in the space that is connected to your soul, really. Because when you're doing something that your soul is asking for, when you're taking action in an area that is connected to your will and connected to your spiritual journey, when you find someone on that path, it's more likely that you could actually end up staying with that person or building some type of consistency in the relationship, instead of the breaking up, making up, breaking up, and then that person's to the side. Then you get with another person, you know, and then you're not healed from the last relationship, but then you get into another relationship, and then that person breaks your heart, and then you go to another one. There's so many people that I know that do that. There's so many people that I know that, see, when I was in a relationship, I was in a relationship for years. So I didn't go through that part, but I've seen a lot of people around me go through the, especially young people nowadays. Oh my goodness. The young people, I'm saying it like I'm super old. Okay. I'm not that old, but I am older. Okay. I'm 36 years old. But like the 20-year-olds, oh man, It's like a revolving door, for real. Maybe not all of you. I'm not going to put all of you into, you know, one category or statistic. However, I do see it a lot with the breaking up, feelings hurt, go to the next person real fast, and didn't heal from the last person. Now, some people, I just heard, you know, I think that's true. Some people, I heard, do well with rebounds. When you just date someone just to get your mind off of the last person, and to each his own, but only do that if you can handle it. If you're all fragile, just fragile, you know, and you're looking for that love and you're jumping into something else, that's dangerous for a person that's a lover. That detachment style of dating, that's for the ones that are tough. That's for tough people. Not everybody can do that. Now, if you know that you're not that type of person, not saying that people that are lovers aren't tough, but that's a different type of dynamic. To be dating someone that you really like, and then you just, I heard divorced and I heard broke up. You just separated from the last person that you were with. You get into another situation, and then you're dating, but then you start liking the person, but then you find out that the person doesn't want the same thing you want, and then your heart gets broken again. That is dangerous. I just feel like that is dangerous, and I see so many people do it. It's like there's many individuals that just don't stay in relationships for a long time. It's just next one. You even see it with the celebrities. They'll be with one person for a certain amount of time, then they move on to the next person. I just find that, like, in this culture, people, relationship wise, people don't stay together as they once did before. People don't stay together like that. It's just like next, like lined up. And I'm not saying it like it's just one aspect of us. It's the masculine energies and the feminine energies that do this. But is it good for you? You know, does that work for you? Does it truly work for you? Because if it works for you, to each his own, to go to hop, skip, and jump. But to have all those different energies around you, it's confusing. It could be very confusing for you, especially if you're not completely in tune with self. Okay. My advice is love yourself first. Build your connection with the Most High first. Focus on loving yourself and building that spiritual connection. So that way, when someone comes around again and you're given the opportunity to see if something can work with that person, at least you'll know what to look for. You'll see the red flags. Because when you're not walking from a place of self-love, you're not going to see the red flags. You won't see them. Because you'll just know that you want to be in a relationship with someone, and you'll allow yourself to get into toxic situations and then be stressed out about it when you don't have to be. You don't have to be. You don't have to go through that. It's a choice. So Spirit wants you to just think about it that way if you are stuck in this space. Because it's a hard space to be stuck in, and it could really capture you in a web for a long time. Spirit doesn't want you. You're supposed to be free. You're supposed to have your freedom, your say-so. You're supposed to have a mind. You have that beautiful mind to use it. If there's something that you don't like, speak it out. Say it. If you don't like it, it's okay to say it. Say I don't like that. You don't have to be all rowdy. You can just say, look, I don't like that. I don't think that's right. And the person could disagree. Maybe they think it is right, but you don't have to think it's right just because they think it's right. You know, you don't. So just hold on to that, because you have the power to remove the overcast of darkness. And then you can snatch the darkness and then consume it and transform it into power. So then it's not just dark. It becomes balanced within you, and you understand it. And then you use both your light and your darkness. And then when you need to pull from that darkness to protect yourself and speak up for yourself and just express yourself, how you need to express yourself without feeling like timid or without feeling like you can't say what's on your mind, that's the best place to be. That's you. That's the real you. That's your true energy. And that's what is comforting to you. That's what makes you feel good, because you're being true to your own soul. You're being true to yourself, and you're allowing your soul to be purified by being honest with self and walking in that honesty regardless of what anybody else says. That is your happy place. Most of the time when we find ourselves not happy, it's because we're just allowing other people to say and project and move too much in our own life. Like it's just someone else moving and adjusting too much in your life, which is usually the reason why many are aggravated, because there's too many people trying to have hands in your pot, you know, in your space, in your energy, trying to, you know, tinker you. And then most of the time when people try to do that, it's not for like a good thing. It's not them trying to help you. You know, it's them trying to control you. You know, that's not right. So this is just like a reminder for you to let you know that you do have the power to remove that overcast of darkness, snatch it, turn it into your power, and use it to your advantage. I heard shadow snatchers. That sounds like something. I would watch that movie. I would. Because what they snatching, what's going on in the darkness? They snatch in the dark. Is that a movie? I don't know. But it sounds like it's something I would watch though. Okay, let me see. What's the 411, hun? I just heard. Oh, the clouds. And I was just talking about an overcast of darkness, right? And when I think of overcast, I was thinking about dark clouds. Ain't that something? How spirit is the synchronicities for me. They're always so on point and so unique, and just that's the beauty of connecting to spirit, because the messages, you can't get this in school. Well, not in the traditional school that we've gone to. You can't get this type of stuff. It's so magical. It's just magical. It's a cloud. I took out a cloud. Now, y'all know when I pull out these charms, I'm not looking. I just snatch and then I just start twirling. And I was just talking about the overcast of darkness. And then this cloud is light. It's not dark. So it's like a reminder to you that, yes, you can control the weather. I just heard. You can control the weather in your life. It doesn't always have to be gloomy and raining. You know, when it's gloomy and raining outside, it does change the energy. It can shift your energy. And it also depends on how you look at it, because that could be very cozy. But then some people get sad in that weather and they want the sun. I appreciate both. I like it all. I like all the seasons, you know. I appreciate them all for their differences. But you have the power. Use it. That beautiful mind is not in that dome for no reason. If you don't like something, say you don't like it. If you're tired of being sad, speak that out loud and replace it with what you do want instead of your sadness. And start to work towards it. Again, if you want to book a coaching call with me, if you just want to have a healing conversation with me, book the call so we can chit chat and talk about it. Okay? All right, my love. So that's all I have for you. Everything you do it with love. Always remember that the creator is in you and the magic is too, because you are magic. Much love to you. I'll see you in the next video.